is the Better Life, Better Work show, and I'm your host, Allison Crow. I'm an intuitive life and business coach here to help you create better life and better work. I help super successful people, the recovering overachievers, put the soul back in their lives, and I help soulful people create success. On this show, topics range from the mystic to the logistic, and our content will support your being and your doing while on your path to create better life and better work. More is not better. Better is better. Hey, soulies, Allison Crow, your favorite life and business coach. So I want to do a little intro. This is another live recording of a live video that I did based on a lesson that we learned or discussed in both Share Your Heart, Show Your Work, which is a course I teach at least once a year, sometimes twice. And it is also something that we taught in the business coaching for soulful success. And I wanted to share this lesson with you because it hurts my heart. No, seriously, it really does. It hurts my heart when my clients can't see that there is an element of their business that they don't realize is actually an offering that helps them create clients, create more steady clients. And so you guys all know, especially in the online world, there's this whole thing about funnels. Well, whether it works or not, heart-centered people certainly don't tend to align with that. And I actually did have a client one time. She goes, I just ran right up your little funnel. And I started thinking about it because that wasn't my language. And I thought about how she came to know me and then where she started working with me. And she ended up being one of my high fee paying clients and actually worked with me in 2 or 3 groups and then took my class a couple of times and has been to my events, etc. And, like the kind of ideal client many of you would like to have. And a long time ago, I drew this little image of what I call the heart path. I know, cheesy little name, but this little heart path. And so number one, making it heart-shaped makes us all feel a little bit better, men and women, by the way. And we all know that inside the heart are the offerings that we have to work with our clients. But how do we get people from the masses of noise out there to inside the heart of our business to be working with us? And so this episode and this recording of this live video today, which does have, it has a visual component. No need to give me a shitty review. There will be a picture in the show notes of what I'm talking about. But you know what? I also know that my viewers can use their imagination. If you don't know, I'm making a reference to one of my reviews. I've mentioned it before in my podcast that I think is absolutely hilarious. I am full aware that sometimes I use visuals in an audio format, and that is my prerogative, dear friends. So with that, here I want to bring you to the Better Life, Better Work show. And if you would like better life and better work, I want you to get your ass and your cute little heart on the wait list for Soulful Success, which will be opening up soon. And then also, this week, there will be a secret, super special, actually it's not secret, super special bonus episode that we will be launching midweek. So normally we launch on Sundays, but this one will be midweek. And it will be an episode with my husband, Bill Flanagan, the author of Hollywood, Texas. So we look forward to you listening to that and giving you an extra episode, fun to listen to. Until then, enjoy this episode. Beautiful peoples, welcome replay viewers. Replay viewers, you always get to see me put on my lipstick. If I don't know you, actually, even if I do know you, if you're not my husband, that does not give you a reason to be pervy or an excuse to be pervy. Hey, I want to share something with you that I'm formulating. I'm doing two things right now. One, I have my coaching membership program, and every week we have a business coaching session. And then also I'm in the middle of teaching Share Your Heart, Show Your Work 2.0 with my clients. Hey, Casey. Casey, I want you to be a Soulful Success member just because I want you to. And I was sharing something with my clients yesterday that I want to share with you. So here's some of the problems that my clients have. Number one, nobody fucking likes to be consistent. It's exhausting, right? Like, it's fun to show up when it's fun to show up, and it's not fun when it's not. And one of the biggest struggles I have, or my clients have, is showing up consistently, especially in the free realms. Another client's my problems have is another client's my problems and clients often have is this fear of growing and getting better. Tom, I'm so glad you're here. Okay, so another client my clients have is this fear of getting better and getting more successful because they're afraid of the demands that people will have on them. And so there's been a couple of things happening. I'm going to actually draw you a chart, pretty simple, and show you something that you might not have thought about. Maybe you have. I don't know. Either way, I'm going to remind you. But I want to help you with those two things. Here's what I know from Allison Crow Scientific Institute, which is fucking right all the time. Okay, not really, but she's funny at least and cute today. Like, hello, look how wintry cute I am. I can't handle it. So I am an Enneagram 7. I'm a risk taker. I'm a jumper. I'm a fling spaghetti at the waller. And that shit can work, but it will also exhaust you. And I have gotten big enough where either people don't want to reach out to me because they don't want to impose on me, or they reach out to me and I don't want to go to lunch with them, God bless them, because it's going to be a 4-hour round trip for me to go to lunch with anybody. And so, but it doesn't mean I don't care about you and don't want to serve you and give you value. So I want to show you a path that a lot of people don't think about their offerings. And then I also want to give you a super secret tip when I get to the end of that path. So here's the original drawing. Don't look at it because I'm going to draw it here for you. So track with me. Now, you may have to, oh, Tom, you're the peacemaker. No wonder. No wonder. Okay, so I'm doing this in blue so you'll be able to see it. One of these days I should learn how to draw on my computer, share my screen. I think I can do that. But so let's say that the inner circle, I call this the heart path. I don't want to have a damn funnel. I do have paths and different ways to work with me, including free, right? So here is the inner circle. This inner circle is my one-on-one private clients. Okay? That is the most time you get to spend with me. And it costs a lot of monies, lots of monies. By the way, I have a spot for one person, just one right person. Okay. The next spot. So Tom, that's going to be listing clients, right? Because listing clients, consumers are more valuable than buyer clients. Not more valuable, but they're primo. Okay. So then the next layer is, I'm going to make this simple because some people have more offerings, but the next layer is people who are paying to work with you, but they don't get, well, this doesn't fit with being a listing appointment, but they pay to work with you. It might not be as long a term. It's not quite the primo offering, but it's pretty fucking close. So for me, this is Soulful Success. Okay. Let me get this here. I'm going to put Soulies. Okay. All right. So identify your top offering and your second to top offering. Like, these are people that when the phone calls, I answer it. A lot of them have my cell phone number.
You don't even answer my calls.
I didn't even answer my husband, Dana Kemp. What's up? Okay. So the inside is your one-on-one. The second is also your paid clients. Now, a lot of people are wondering, how do I get people into my paid offerings? And you think if you build it, they will come. And I am a big believer. Hey, honey, I'm a big believer in growing your skill. But if you've got to learn how to love marketing the shit out of it without it feeling like marketing, right? And so we all know that in heart-based businesses, we market to serve. But sometimes a lot of my people feel exhausted by the serving because either A, they're serving the wrong people, or they're not realizing the value of opening up their, I call it your front yard, right? So Solis and one-on-one people are in my house. They are literally in my home. They are in the home of my heart. They are in the home of my business. And they are they're the people I work with. And many of them are lifers, have been with me for a long time. Okay. They're not there because they need to be. They want to be. So the next layer, here's the next layer. This is a part I see a lot of people resistant to. This is, I'm going to put this on the other side. Okay, you're going to hate this name, but this is your list. So in real estate, we call it a database. In traditional business, we call it a database. It's a list. For a while, some people called it a tribe, but that's not culturally appropriate. And so this is your address book. This is, in a certain day and age, people had Rolodexes, or they had index cards in a box. This is your list. So for example, if right now you needed to make a special offer or let's say the aliens came and gave you Wednesday night's lottery numbers for $500 billion and you wanted to give it to everybody because you know that $500 billion is enough to share with everybody on your list and you all still be rich as fuck, you want to have that to send out now. Okay. Here's the other thing. You own these 3 hearts. You own them. Nobody else owns them. Now, here's where these first 2 are what most people really, really want, but they're not willing to build the list. There's a million ways to build a list. You don't have to give a fucking PDF if you don't want to. We can talk about that later. And if you're my client and want to know good ways to get people to voluntarily ask to receive your content or your email and your offerings on a regular basis. Now, here's what's crazy. When you give good shit, it doesn't matter how big your list is, but I will tell you, if you have a quality list, 3% is who will actually work with you. That math is crazy spot on. It's insane. Okay. So the other thing is, you can create a highly successful business with people with a very, so you don't want a spam list. You don't want just anybody being in your address book. You want your A's and B's in your address book, right? A's and B's in your address book. So A's and B's is a term we use in, real estate. So I'm kind of crossing over online space, service space, and then also real estate because I work with both kinds of people. Okay. So those 2 we know. Now, I think I'm going to need a pen color change because I need you to participate in this. Green is not dark enough. Let me grab a purple. Where'd my pens go? Oh, right behind me. That's what happens when you reorganize your desk. Okay. So these are part of your offerings. Your list, getting on your list is offerings. Okay. Now, here is a next layer of your offering. Okay. This is one I guarantee you don't even think of as your offering. This one is your free offering. Okay, this is your free offering. Most of you don't think of it as an offering, right? So your free offering, it is in the heart. Your free offering is, so I'm going to add the next one so I can distinguish the 2. So your free offering does not necessarily have people on your list. It's something you do publicly and regularly. So this is where consistency comes in. Okay. Something you do publicly and regularly. I have my second client ever. His name is Scott Bullard. He's a realtor here in Austin, Texas. And one of the first things we did in 2007, oh my God, in 2007 was get him a database, an email list. Homeboy still uses Outlook, y'all. But guess what I get? Every single Monday morning, I get an email from Scott, a newsletter. And not only is there stuff about him in real estate, that's actually last, but every single week I get something of value. And I am the nerdiest little girl. I look at that every single week. I am not buying real estate. I am probably not buying real estate from him. But if anybody's moving out to where he and his wife work, they're getting a referral from me. And I find his emails interesting, valuable, and quick and easy to read. So today, he had some, I know this sounds so corny, but trivia. He also always has market value stuff in there, but I've made a commitment to not watch the real estate market until the end of the year. So that's his list going out. And one of the things that I see, so for example, let me give some examples of other free things we do. A podcast. A podcast done regularly will grow your list. A live stream done regularly at the same time and same place will grow your list. Real estates do listing presentations or buyers things, right? Y'all are always sometimes you're doing CMAs to people, right? Now, here's the thing where people, they don't do it consistently, right? And so then here's what happens is you only show up when you want something and nobody wants this Facebook Live, right? So here's what I need you to do. On the outside of the heart, all of this free offering that you do is one of your programs. This list and communicating regularly and of value to your clients is one of your programs. If you taught a class or did coaching sessions every Monday, you would show up every Monday. And if you want to know why you don't have enough people in your home circles, let me just go ahead and get a little yellow marker out, because this is where we get to serve our clients and actually get them results, right? We actually get to get our clients results when they're in the yellow zone, right? We get to get our clients results. They get proximity and they get the full value of our service. On our list, they just get a little proximity. On our free, I have a colleague, she may watch this, but she's like, I'm not ever paying for anything again. I'm just watching free stuff. Great. I don't mind if somebody watches free because only a few people watch the free stuff. If the free stuff is really good and I have a need that my clients meet, they usually join my list and then they end up in the yellow zone. But most people are wanting the yellow zone to be full without being consistent about the next two and the third thing. So your list, sending something regularly of value without asking for something. So I used to send willy-nilly. I used to do my podcast willy-nilly. I am not saying you need to do a podcast. Some people can do podcasts for free. I apparently got to spend money doing it. But this year I decided I was going to show up every week and I hired someone to help me, actually two people to help me. And one of them is on my ass if I don't do it consistently. So every single Sunday, my clients get an email that is not selling anything. It is just telling them about something free I made for them that they can listen to at their fucking convenience, right? Now, some people come across my podcasts, my Facebook Lives, whatever I'm doing. This is free. Going live regularly is part of what I want. I am giving you this today. I have nothing to sell. I just wanted to drop some wisdom on y'all. I got nothing to sell. Okay, so there's the free. Now, here's the other part. Outside of this free is your marketing. Okay. That's your marketing. Frankly, all of it is marketing, but this is your more traditional marketing, right? So marketing is like the beacon that gets you attention. It gets you attention. And when you show up regularly with your marketing, so I love Stacey Harris just joined. Stacey Harris is my gal. She has really helped me change from being willy-nilly to understanding this concept that consistency is working. So, for example, I have clients that are afraid to, people always want to pick your brain. I want to pick your brain. So here's what's cool. If you're doing regular free content, right? Maybe you're doing workshops for free. Maybe you're doing speaking for free. I don't like to leave my fucking house. I have a client that actually tonight she does free energy clearings on a regular basis. After learning this lesson, she was like, oh my God. So people get to experience her work. So my free thing is these lives and my podcast. So if I start getting people asking me to pick my brain and they want to know stuff and they're not willing to ask publicly, then I will say, that's a great question. I don't do coffee or lunch, but you know what I will do? I will do a whole podcast, or that question actually makes a great answer for the rest of my audience. And so when somebody wants something from you, as a leader, as a professional, as a coach, unless it's a CMA realtors, but a lot of things can be given in a group setting, right? And so be sure you have something that is done in a group setting, right? And so your free content, your podcast. So like, I know that Tara Newman does this on her podcast. I'm not sure how regularly she does it, but she does Q&As and she does whole podcasts on questions, right? And so she's actually giving something of major value to clients specifically that she also knows will benefit other people who listen. Right? So when somebody asks you for something and they're not your client and they probably won't be, we can either ignore them or we can say, you know what? I think that's a really great question. If there's not a lot of urgency around it, I will do a live about that tonight, or I'll do my live every Sunday at 3 p.m. and this will be the topic of the live. Let that drive some of your content, you guys. Right? And then what's amazing is when you're doing that free content, you can invite people. If you want to get regular updates from me, if you want to hear about what's going on in my podcast, then you can join my email newsletter. I will never add you to my email newsletter. You will add yourself. And you can come off or stay on anytime you want. But the problem is people want the consistency of the inner house without this. I call this your front yard, right? Like your list is your front porch. That's how they get in your house. And this is your front yard. The free and the marketing is the free is your front yard. So my front yard is my podcast. My front yard is these Facebook Lives. And then my marketing is a combination of all of that, right? I actually have some marketing help. They drive people to my website. They drive people to my content. One of the things about your free content is that it can be repurposed. Y'all, we don't have to create something from scratch every single time. And so this was fun. This weekend, we had a coaching session. It was a life coaching session that turned into a business coaching session, and it was perfect. And my clients realized, if I treated my free content delivery, my marketing like an offering, and that's why it's a part of the heart. If I treated it like it were an appointment, I'd show up for it regularly. And if you gave with that in mind, you're not going to be, hi, Steve, you're not going to be sucked dry, because at this level out here, so let me write something down. At this list to free, this is one too many, or one to masses. Now, here's how I know that matters. How many of y'all actually ever been in Oprah Winfrey's one-on-one circle? No, some of you have paid to go see her speak, right? So this outer level, your list, your free content, and your general marketing is one to many. And a lot of you guys aren't showing up one to many to be able to get in here. So if I were to add this pink color, to get in the doorway, some of you have automatic offerings and some of you have, let's call this, I'm going to call it a sales appointment, right? You can call it what you want. Okay, so to get into the yellow zone, I want you to have a filter, right? But how do you get people to do appointments with you, right? You do your one-to-many marketing. There's other little levels in here, but the main thing I want you to see is this consistently building your address book and consistently giving of your heart and your content and your energy and showing your face and your smile and your cuteness and the value you give to your clients, the problems you can help them solve. That's what makes this work. That's what makes this work. And I know, here's the thing, this is the fun stuff, right? This other stuff is boring for a lot of you. You don't want to do it. I get it. I only wanted to do it when I wanted to do it. And my business, it was okay. It was not bad. It was nothing to complain about. I'm pretty amazing. But it was heavy at times. And so here's one of the things I wish I knew early on. Everybody says get help. Everybody says get help. I want to change that to get high level help. Get high level help. Y'all hear me talk about Stacy and Maria and Elise and Callie Orr all the time. Elise does my podcast. Callie and Stacy and the team at Uncommonly More are not cheap. This ain't no $5 an hour Fiverr bullshit. These are people that I am trusting to produce my brain. They are listening to everything I do, and they are paid to do the boring stuff like a genius. Miss Callie Orr, Stacey Harris has done so good in hiring her right-hand person, which is Callie. Man, I read stuff that Callie writes. It's come out of my mouth, and I'm like, I said that. And she's like, yeah, that's why I wrote it, right? And so I have gotten someone to do the stuff consistently that I was only doing half-ass. And here's what's happened. So number one, my list has shrunk, whatever the proper verb is. My list has gone down. But you know what? My list is more profitable. My list looks forward. I get more replies about listening to the podcast and what I've given them. I have more people wanting to ask me questions. The people at the beginning, all the people that left, bye-bye. I'm okay. If you leave me, you leave room for the other people. So what I know is that when you show up regularly, not only do you turn more people off, congratulations, that's a win, by the way, but you also turn the right people on. And when the right people are walking down your front yard, and when they have a problem, or when they see an alignment that you're the one to help them solve their problem, you're the one they want to spend time with, you're the one they want to ask them coaching questions, not anybody else. But too many of us want that by just hanging a shingle. Are you tracking with what I'm saying? And so one of my favorite tips is come up with one place that you will be regular. So I have to, but if you do Facebook Lives, show up regular. And here's the place where I'm going to get you to stretch. This was really difficult for me in the beginning. And it's one of those things that if you do what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always gotten. And so when I made a commitment, and my team is so dang wonderful because sometimes they don't get it until Friday night, but I made a commitment to hit publish on my podcast on Sundays. My team has everything written and done, but they can't write their part until I've done that. They have to hear the podcast before they can write it. And so what I love, the mornings that I don't want to record my podcast, or if it's like, I was sick yesterday, the dogs were barking, people were in my house, the lawnmowers are outside, whatever resistance I came up for creating weekly. I am not saying it is easy. And A, having a plan and some idea of what I could talk about, and B, having that help of, like Elise goes, listen, I know you don't want to do it today, but I also know you can pull it out of your hat because you're baller. So she's like my cheerleader. And she reminds me that I can do this, that it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be complicated. And when I look back at the questions my non-clients have asked me, Amy Callahan, I still owe you a podcast. Actually, I think I'd be better off referring it, but I still owe Amy Callahan a podcast on imposter syndrome. That one's been hard for me to create, so I need to interview somebody about that for you. I can give those non-paying audience members the answer to their questions in my free content. Y'all realize you have free content around you all the time. And we're so haphazard about that. And I do want to say that the closer you are, so here's the thing, just posting is not going to cut it. That is the bottom. It's like, it's nice, keep doing it. But Michael Mayer has a triangle of connection. Nella, I'm going to say start with once a week, at least once a week. You know, Gary Vee say post 18 times a day because the Facebook algorithm, the social media, whatever. But I like the idea of having a regular time and place that you show up. So what's fun is, ever since I started doing my podcast regularly, I would actually have phone calls with, I talked to a girlfriend the other day that's also been a client and a colleague of mine. And she was like, oh, I get your email every Friday night for your podcast. And I said, oh, isn't that funny? My podcast comes out on Sunday. And she said, no, it comes out on Friday. And I was like, okay, whatever. It comes out on Sunday. But here's what, she's not listening to it live, but she's recognizing that it's regular. I just told you a story about Scott Bullard. I have not seen Scott Bullard in 10 years. He sells real estate in Spicewood, Texas, and Lakeway area, right outside, lake properties, hill country properties. He's on the top of my mind. Today, I don't need him. But you know what? He is on my mind. He drips on me, right? And his content is interesting. And so guess what? Guess who would get the referral? Because I don't ever see Scott on social media. Guess where I see him? In my inbox. Even if I don't open the email, today I deleted 75 emails. But you know what? I saw their names, and that's enough to keep you top of mind for even a moment. And so if you show up and create content regularly, and that is considered, so here's what I want you to do. I want you to do it. So what I'm training myself to do is love my podcast. I'm training myself to be excited. I used to not be excited because I don't have this interaction. Like here, I can see your names and I can connect with your energies and I can say hi and I can respond. But on my podcast, which this will probably be turned into a podcast. Right, Stacy? So if I think, oh, my podcast is horrible and it's hard for me to do, well, it's not going to be very fun. But the reality is, I know that showing up weekly in that way helps. The reason I'm doing the podcast and not just Facebook, because I know some of you want to know that, right? Facebook is easy, and Facebook markets to my current neighborhood and the bubble that the algorithms tell us to see, right? And so a lot of us are giving in a saturated pond, which is fine. And if you want to grow, we have to put ourselves in different places. So a lot of my people are here on Facebook and watching, but a lot of people, let me tell you a secret, I do not sit around and watch live videos. I might have it on if I'm working in the office, but I don't often sit around. I might pop in and pop out like some of you are, but I don't sit around and do that. But you know what I will do? I will listen to an hour and 20-minute long podcast all day long. Right? So my podcast gets in the ears of people that I don't know much more regularly than my Facebook lives do. And so that's one of the reasons I'm committed to do something uncomfortable and learn to love it on a regular basis for people I don't know yet. And those people, if they want to, well, I will tell you, every time I do a podcast, we have a call to action. I'm either like, join my list, join my program, come work with me. And no shame. I just gave you an hour of free content. Come work with me, bitches. Let's do this. Right? And so here's the other thing. You guys, you can do this. And it doesn't have to be complicated or hard. Right? And you don't need to teach a PhD dissertation when you're giving free content. I tend to do dissertations because I talk a long time. I got a lot of words. I have so many ideas. Today is one of those days that I could probably do 15 lives. Maybe I should batch some content today, right? But it can be simple and short. I love my husband right now, so I don't have a copy of his book. We're waiting for the copies. Everybody else has already gotten their copies. I want my copy of my husband's book because I do want to promote my husband's book, but it's fun to watch him market and learn about marketing that book. And it's fun to watch him create free content that has people want to buy the book. And he's not in the online space. Well, he is now. Like, he just upgraded his Instagram account from basic to pro. It was really fun. So it's really fun to watch somebody who's new in marketing and selling something online. Y'all, you know what I've watched him do? We're detouring now, but this is fascinating, right? So Bill's not in this bubble of personal development. Do you know that my husband, so his book is set in Hamilton County, Texas, and my husband called that library and said, I would like to give you a copy of my book. Do you want a copy of my book? We went into the local bookstores around here and was like, would you be interested in carrying this book? It's fine if it's on consignment. He has called a few of the cities around Hamilton County. Homeboy is hoofing it to get his book out there. And here's the thing. He doesn't expect to make millions of dollars. He just wants the book to get out there. He's really proud of it. And I want each of you to be as proud of your work. If you have taken the time and money and energy to learn this service or this skill, I want you to connect real quick. Be proud of that. Don't be ashamed of it. Be proud of it. Be so excited. Now, you have to not take it personally. Bill's like, nobody called me back. I don't understand. I don't know why they didn't call him back. But you know what I love and I'm celebrating is that he called him and said, do you want a copy of this book that's set in Hamilton County? All right. And the right people will buy it. Hola, amor. So Carolina, you're going to have to go back and watch too, because I did some really good, there's actually a good little lesson here. Okay. And so if you think of your free stuff and your communication with your list as one of your offerings, don't think of it as the free stuff you do to clients. Think of it as the gift you give your clients. Think of it as an offering or a service. And I guarantee you it will do so much more to increase the flow of people who want to work with you, right? Wait till you see my drawing. Did you do the same thing? Right. So this is that heart path, right? This is the heart path. And it doesn't have to be a funnel. It's not, it doesn't have to be pop-up sales and all that other stuff, but give people a clear path. And one of the things that helped me open my heart to this was I actually had a client named Rebecca Davidson. I have permission to share this story. Rebecca had another client in London who told her about the video where I take off all my clothes, the speaking thing where I take off all my clothes. She went to that video. So we recorded a video I did in a private room, and I posted that video, and I share that video every single year. I'm not saying all of you got to get naked to get new clients, but it worked for me. She did that. And then she immediately went to my website. She saw my free content. She went to my website and signed up. At the time, I did a free share your heart, show your work thing live. Like we were doing a free live challenge. It was a service I offered my audience for free. To participate in it, they had to join my email list. And then she took the class. And after she took the class, which was $333 at the time, the next thing she did was sign up for the $555 5-month program. And then right after that, she signed up for a $9,000 program with me. And she was so cute. She was like, I found you and I just ran up your little funnel. Don't you all want clients that do that? Don't you want, and here's this day, I get texts from her. I get jewelry in the mail. She works with some of my colleagues right now. She's still very much in my heart and in my life. She's not actively my client, but that girl ran up my little heart path, right? Free content, valuable content on a consistent basis, not shit content. Give them your heart. I call it share your heart, show your work. From time to time, invite them to be on your address book. And that treated like an offering, right? So a lot of you have 18 off. Here's 18 things you can do with me. Stop it. You're going to wear yourself out. You have 18 things people can work with you, but you don't have one way where you're showing up regularly. They don't know you. They don't know if they like you or not. They certainly don't know if they can trust you. And I know you're like, oh, typical, they know, like, and trust. Most people don't hire me instantly. I am either palatable or I am offensive, right? Know, like, and trust. So that's what I wanted to share with you. If you were here watching, thank you so much. I want you to be sure to not only do this heart path, I want you to do these too regularly. Let them be fun, right? Let them be fun and let it be easy. That way you don't have to go to coffee or lunch. You just turn your coffee or lunch request. Oh, you want to pick my brain? Great. You can pay $1,000 to pick my brain, or we can take your question and I'll turn it into a podcast or a Facebook Live or an Instagram Live or whatever it is. Or some of you actually like to go out in public. One of my girlfriends here in Austin built her into, I've been lived in Austin my whole life, except for the few years I lived in Denton. Within 6 months of living here, she had done free workshops at every single, what are those things? Co-working space in town. Co-working spaces are always looking for somebody to do a workshop, right? Hello. So that's what I have for you today. I want to hear. So we got some wisdom. We got some insight. Maybe you had an aha, but an aha not implemented is just a fucking daydream. So what one thing are you going to implement? Really, I want you to implement your list, but what one thing are you going to implement? And I love, I'm going to give a shout out to Heather Esposito, because on Saturday morning, she was like, oh my God, this was such a good reminder that I just got to show up regularly. And I got to give people the opportunity. You can talk about energy healing all the time, but a lot of people don't know what that is. So she shows up regularly. And the next thing you know, they're wanting it more often, right? All right, people, thanks for spending time with you. Thank you for spending time with you, for spending time with me and with each other today. I appreciate you. I love you. Rock out. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks for your reviews and sharing with your friends. Hey, listen, I want to invite you to consider becoming a member of Soulful Success when we reopen enrollment on December 22nd. That means you go to www.soulfulsuccess.live and enter to be on the wait list. You can also scroll down there and see more elements of the program, but let me tell you a little bit more about what it's about. Soulful Success, I created over 2 years ago. We're now starting on our third year, and I wanted to create a place, a community, so that you didn't have to work from behind your computer alone. Most of my clients work online. Many of my clients, I have a client that works in the Pentagon. I have clients that work in real estate offices. I have clients that work in corporate. I have clients and a lot of clients that work from their home. So it's not exclusively for online business owners, but it is for people who want to work and be around other like-minded business people who know that life support, emotional support, and community support are really nurturing. And then also a place where they can get business strategy, business coaching, etc. And so it's way more than that. But I like to call it like a home base. I had a client today. Leroy says hi. I had a client today send this to me, and Leroy's going to bark. Okay, we paused while he barked at the neighbors. So she said, hi, I love you. I love that I can be gone from calls for a while and return and feel like I never missed a single one. Thank you for creating that space. And so this membership program is not content driven. It is community and live coaching driven. So some people come to one call a week. Some people come to one call a month. Some people pop in once every 6 months, and some people listen from afar and have been doing that for going on 3 years now. And so I really want to provide intellectual, a strategic, and an emotional and community container where you have access to exquisite coaching, strategy, teaching, training. It is not the end all be all, but it is like a general practitioner and a home base for you and your business and your heart. And from there, it's at a reasonable price so that you have money left over to get high level help, to implement, to take specialty courses or trainings without losing the heart of your coaching. So all this to say, hey, if this pings with you, if you want to become a Soli, an official Soli, I would love for you to check out soulfulsuccess.live and get on the wait list. We're going to be opening the doors right before Christmas, and we're going to have them open through, I can't remember the close day right now, but you can also scroll down below entering that email address, and you can find out a little bit more about the program. If you have any questions, just send me a message. Instagram, Facebook, there's a contact form on my website. I can see what I can do to help you see if it's a fit for you. Thanks again for listening. Peace out. Look forward to the bonus episode, and we will see you for sure next week. As always, thanks for listening. Totally appreciate you thinking about somebody who might really love this episode and you sharing it with them. Also, I always appreciate your reviews. It's like podcast currency. It's like a tip in the jar saying thanks. And finally, if you want to share on social media, a screenshot, or any insights you get from listening to this episode, I will totally respond. You can share with the hashtag BetterLifeBetterWorkShow. This show is sponsored by my 3 rescued dogs, Leroy Brown, Clementine, and Rocky Potato. They're here to remind you to consider adoption when you get your next pet. More is not better, better is better.